What's up, barflies? We're back again for episode 9. It's Padawan Pasky here with his very wise and insightful Master Jedi, Aaron.
Well, hello there.
Nice one. We're back again. We've got a bit on for this episode. We're going to chat a little bit about a bit of Star Wars news.
Yes.
We've got a couple of fan questions.
I know, we've got two.
Two,
yes.
Yeah. 2 fan questions. We've got one off Instagram, one another one off our Facebook page. At Cantina Barflies. And
We've got a Resistance recap, just a short one.
Yeah. And we thought we might have a little chat about some Star Wars deaths, that sort of memorable moments and deaths.
Memorable moments, something that means a lot to us, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about we kick it off with a bit of the hottest news?
Yes, okay. Some big news.
Mm-hmm.
Just today, in Australian time, they announced that there's going to be a new animation series, a short one. And the animation series is called Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures. And it's a kids show. So it's very tailored towards kids.
Mm-hmm.
But basically it's going to have the original dialogue, music, and sound effects with new animation.
When you say the original, you mean like of the original trilogy?
Yeah.
A New Hope. And,
the original trilogy. So I have all the same things, but these are new updated animations for it. So it's specific for kids.
Yeah.
And a great way to introduce them to the Star Wars.
Yeah. Because I guess being, 30, 40 years old, like A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being such an older film, it's harder for kids to get into. But I know people whose kids, they're toddlers or, preschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
And they love the original set, but I can understand why some kids are just like, that's just not.
They just get, as soon as they see the really bad dated graphics, they just turn away from it.
Yeah, they become like Elijah Wood in Back to the Future. This is a kid's game.
Yeah,
you got to use your hands. Yeah.
Even in saying that, today, I was speaking to a guy at work and he's 19 and he likes all the Star Wars, but he goes, it's really hard for him to watch the originals because of the graphics that are outdated. But he does like the storyline. So if he didn't know the storyline already, then he might not want to invest time into doing that. But if you give these young kids, this
and I guess if everyone knows someone who's never watched the Star Wars. Mm-hmm. You find those rare people here and there. You're like, talk about Star Wars. I'm like, I've never seen a Star Wars. Or some people have never watched a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
and those people might be hard if you wanted to show them a Star Wars. It'd be hard to get them hooked on Star Wars starting off with the original trilogy because of the graphics. They wouldn't find it as engaging. You see some of the puppets and the makeup and
even the updated graphics can be pretty jarring.
Some of the graphics from the early 2000s and stuff is pretty disgusting now when you look at it. But I was actually, I don't know what I was listening to. Maybe it might have been a Joe Rogan podcast or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they were discussing puppets in film and how puppets, like in Star Wars, how they have like puppets, so it's far more. Some reason, someone in your brain, you find it more believable than like a CGI character.
Yeah, the eyes do it. Yeah,
well, it's like you accept the character as what it is. Like you see an alien, someone's wearing an alien mask, and they got an alien head on them. You accept that character quicker, or that species or that being quicker as like a believable real thing than you would if it was a CGI.
I can get that
being.
Yeah.
So there's something about it in your head because it's a real thing. Like if you were there, you could touch it. It's malleable. It's got texture.
That's why they've gone back to doing more of the.
Yeah, there's more of that in
the
newer movies. Yeah. They just do really good makeup work instead of trying to get some nerds CGI it later. Yeah. So and that's what I love, that appeal of the original series. But I can understand why kids won't and don't. And I think that's
and these also these animations, and they're not the whole film. They're just mini series of particular moments that are meaningful in the whole Star Wars story. So
it's like a 6-episode more condensed recap.
Like a recap, I think. Yeah, that's what it should be
for the younger generation.
I did put a little snippet of the trailer on our Instagram, so you can catch it there. It's pretty. Looks awesome. It's not just exactly like scene for scene. They do some obviously animation editing into it.
Yep.
Which is cool, and it kind of not exactly looks like Resistance, but it does kind of match that tone.
Yeah,
which is a great segue into our next topic, which is the Resistance.
Yeah, we just watched the latest episode. Was it
episode? I believe 8.
8. Yeah.
I don't know. It gets confusing now with how the first one was a double, but it is called the Platform Classic.
Yep.
And that one gave us some more information on one of our favorite characters, didn't it?
Yeah, Jaeger. Yeah. He's so mysterious.
Yeah.
And we know nothing. We don't really know much about him. We know he's a racer, and he's got ex-racer.
Rebels and Resistance.
Yeah. And he used to have a family and all that stuff, and
we know that from the episode.
They're not there.
Yeah, we know that from the episode
Hyperfuel one.
to the fire.
Yeah.
Where we find out the kid's still the hyperfuel, and then Kaz saves him from blowing up and
blowing himself up. Yeah. But we get introduced to his brother Marcus.
Yeah. What was his last name? Speedstar.
Speedstar.
Yeah.
Which was
cool name, dude.
Yeah, cool name, mate. Laserface. But like it, and even Jaeger in the episode says like a dumb made up name.
He does, doesn't he?
And then we had a little giggle about it and thought, like it's like Skywalker.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a dumb made up name, but that's actually his Luke Skywalker's
real name.
Yeah.
Whereas Speedstar is his racing name, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. Talking about the made up names, I really liked in Solo how they introduced how Solo got his name when he was in line to join the army, because he's like, I'm either going to get caught by the baddies here or I join the baddies and become a soldier.
Solo.
And then he's like, I need a name, Solo.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like that.
That could have gone two ways. That I was thinking when the movie was, before we saw it, I was like, don't give me a story about how Solo gets his actual name. Even there was a tweet out, we find out how Solo gets his name. I'm like, please don't tell me that it actually means we find out how he gets the name Solo. But the way it was done in the movie, it kind of like gave it a bit of, I don't know, a real meaning a little bit, because you could see in his eyes a little bit of like, I have no one. I am Solo. Yeah,
because he literally just got split up.
Yeah. I am no one now, which is, it gave us some gravitas.
Gravitas.
But overall, I think it was, a really...
I like that we found out about like how Jaeger, the death of his family and stuff.
Yeah, get some more in-depth things about it.
We'll talk about deaths.
Oh, another segue. We're 2 for 2.
Let's chat about Star Wars deaths.
How do you want to begin this topic? Do you want to talk about the one that made you the most saddest?
The one that made me the most saddest was Qui-Gon Jinn.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your favourite film?
Yeah.
Episode 1.
Actually, hang on. That was just the first one I thought of when I think of Star Wars deaths.
Okay.
Actually, I need to think harder on
my
this.
first one.
Actually, no. You go. Sorry, your first.
Well,
one.
What do you think my first one is? Like, what makes the most saddest?
I reckon the one that would have hurt him the most emotionally would have been Yoda. No,
it was Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope. That's the saddest death. He's just like, we just met that character, and he died.
You say we just met him, but in the relation of the film, we've seen him on film for about an hour.
Yeah, I know, but he died. He's the first one to die out of all the characters.
Yeah,
you think he's going to be around?
At that time, he's only in one movie.
I know, exactly.
And then we get Ewan McGregor later to give us more Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But Qui-Gon is a memorable one to me. Yeah, I just remember that because I was a lot younger when it happened, and when it just gets sliced and diced, it's straight in the gut.
Here we go about mirroring things again. The way Qui-Gon dies. How it's a first film, he dies first. Same way.
Oh, poetry repeats itself.
Obi-Wan's master, Qui-Gon, dies, and then Obi-Wan dies in a similar fashion to it. Oh my God! It mirrors.
Oh, wowzers!
There it is again. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no.
Thought I'd bring it up. Came to mind then.
Another death.
Yeah.
To a memorable one to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Jedi death.
Ooh.
It's a droid death. K2.
Yeah. That one's a really sad one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Because
I've mentioned it in a podcast before. That K2's last stand, like, holding the gates, like holding the doors there and working on the control panel, and they're trying to get the Death Star plans and pew 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 pew, and
he's just blasting him with like a handgun.
Yeah, and then he gets like wrecked later on, and it's like his last like droid breath is like. You got to climb to get the Death Star plans and
climb,
and smashes the lock button on the blast door, and then locks them in there. Like they got to go up,
and then when he falls to the ground and his blinking eye just blinks for the last time. Yeah, tears ran down. That was I think I felt sad about that than probably other people's. Even though I really invested into all the other characters, it was that one that really hurt.
Gabby's tingles, man, shivers.
I don't think that I've ever felt that way about a droid before.
True.
I mean, I guess maybe if R2 died, I would, but I've never had that.
Don't you dare.
No, sorry.
They kill C-3PO because he's annoying. But
no, they can't.
R2, you can't do that.
No.
What about, who else? Who else for you?
Saddest or any kind of way?
What about, what else? Any kind of way.
Well... Angriest.
One that's death that's made you the angriest?
Yeah, made me angry about the death.
Angry because it happened or the way?
Angry because it happened.
Not the way it happened or anything?
Well, that kind of leads into it. That it happened and the way it happened.
Okay, who?
Plo Koon in Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
When the clones get him,
All right. I don't want to interrupt. Is it because Plo Koon's your favourite? That's one reason why. Because he dies, you're like, we don't... That's why... I feel like it'd be also because the way he dies is just so underwhelming.
So how he dies in Revenge of the Sith during Order 66, he's flying with his clone troopers and they kill him from behind while he's in his spaceship. Yeah,
and it just blows up.
And it blows up.
That's it. You don't get a glorious Jedi death, do you?
No, it's really sad. For the master that Plo Koon was... God, suck it into that.
Yeah, that Plo Koon one. Yeah, it could have. He deserves more screen time.
Yeah. Like some people are like, oh, maybe he didn't die. You know, that off the screen death can always result into being a.
Maybe you pushed the eject button.
I don't even think so. I think
he's dead, baby.
It's written in history. Order 66 killed Plo Koon, which is sad. That made me so angry.
Maybe they should do a Plo Koon miniseries.
Oh, it could happen. Why not? Just Disney.
Like a movie version.
I don't care.
Or a Plo Koon movie.
Plo Koon movie would be cool.
Before episode 1.
Yeah.
Episode -1.
Maybe he could pop up in some I don't know. I don't know if they will do that though, because I reckon if they're going to do before episode 1 sort of stuff, they're going to do Old Republic, which is going to be like 1,000 years before Yoda and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Because they don't want to keep bringing up these same characters over and over again. They want to set up a new timeline.
Which is sort of like, is that what the Mandalorian's doing? Like a sort of newer, bit later in the future timeline?
It is. We haven't seen it on screen before. Because it's before, Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So there's a lot of ground to cover there. And we've never seen on screen, we have seen read in books, but we never seen on screen like that whole... what happened after the Empire was crushed.
Yeah.
No one knows. Like, there would have been chaos for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. What other deaths have you got?
Well, what other emotions do you have in your artillery?
Because I'm a good Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't show any emotion.
Okay.
I don't use emotion to dictate my thoughts.
So they're just one
decisions.
with the Force.
I am one with the Force. The Force is with me.
That's it.
But deaths. The Obi-Wan's not that like, I don't know, it's a memorable death. It's pretty big, but it's not one that like affects me emotionally.
No, okay.
Luke. one that I never remember, and you had this question in a quiz for me, how General Grievous dies.
Oh, right, yeah.
I can't even remember it.
No.
I need to rewatch that movie, but
Okay.
that's probably like the worst death for me because I just don't remember him dying.
It's a sucker question that you won't forget.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So talk about that. Let's talk about like evil character deaths then.
Evil characters.
Vader. Vader death. Pretty big.
Vader death. Yeah.
Or what about? Hang on. Before we go on to the evil, Han Solo's death. Did that upset you at all in any way?
Yeah, actually, I cried in the cinema.
No way.
That's it. Yeah, I was in the cinema and...
So how did you forget that?
I don't know. Actually, that's probably the most emotional death out of the whole set. Because I was in the cinema watching it and I was... Everyone is listening to this, they should have already watched this film, so I'm not going to spoiler alert, but the way he dies, when it happened, I went like... Aaron!
And you just know, as soon as he yelled
and
out
he goes
his
down
name,
there and then the moment it happens, I just went, I stopped breathing.
Yeah.
And then just tears just started rolling in my face. I couldn't fathom. And it was just like childhood and everything, like just at that one point in time, and when I saw that death, my whole childhood and everything I knew about Star Wars and loved about Star Wars just seemed to just cease to exist. It was like my heart was like just smoked by a Death Star.
Wow.
Yeah.
It meant so
A
much.
million voices.
Cried out in fear.
Yeah.
Oof.
That was what it was like, but in my heart. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it, but I believed it as soon as he said Ben. I was like, oh, he's dead.
I didn't even see it coming, man.
No one goes on a walkway without rails and survives. You know what I'm talking about? It's like he's walked down there, he's dead. He's dead.
I was scared of something bad happening to him, but I didn't think he'd die. And then it just hit. And the moment it happened, it was like, no. Why would you do that? Why would you? How dare you?
That's because Han Solo never wanted to be in the films. He wanted to be dead in Empire Strikes Back.
Did he?
That's why they freeze him in carbonite, because they weren't sure if he wanted to come back for them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He actually he was talking to George about getting killed in Empire. He had enough by then.
Really?
Yeah.
That was just 2 films?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
He's not really a Star Wars kind of dude.
He's Indiana Jones kind of dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go make Indy 4 again then.
Close your eyes. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. It's a good film.
I was going to say something about... Oh, yeah, Okay, now...
Don't say it.
After... You were saying people, like we said, like R2-D2, you know, if they killed R2-D2,
if
that'd be
they
so
did kill them, yeah.
What if they killed Chewbacca?
I think
This was something Beck asked me once. She said like last week, like if they did that, like she said she wouldn't be able to handle it.
I think the whole Star Wars fandom would be uproar.
There would be riots.
No pun intended.
It'd be up. But like, yeah, mate, you couldn't.
No,
I don't.
If
that is like if George Lucas wanted to like commit suicide or like wanted to be like murdered, he'd kill off Chewbacca.
Yeah. I think that you can't do it. I did tell you about that the Star Wars book, the one where Chewbacca dies in the book.
No.
Did you? Yeah, there's a Legends book. It's not canon. It's a Legends book.
Yeah,
and,
I know in the Legends he dies, and there's also Lobaka.
The way he dies is by getting crushed by a planet's moon.
What?
Yeah, and it's terrible.
Like a whole moon?
Well, he was trying to save people, and then the moon and the planet collided, or something like that. I'm not going to read that book. It's like watching Marley and Me. I don't watch Marley and Me because I don't want to see the dog die.
Yeah, they can't do it.
They can't do that.
They can't do it.
What other characters do you reckon then? R2, no. Chewie, no.
What characters, if they killed people, would like
Or
flip
just like
out?
they shouldn't. They
shouldn't kill?
Yeah, just leave it to ambiguity or time.
They won't kill Ray, not in our
Well,
lifetime.
we can't say that because they're just new characters. Something that we.
Yeah, but when it comes to like episode 62 or something like that,
Yeah.
they'll probably do it. We won't have to worry about that. But there'll be people like us being, how dare they kill Ray? She was our first female Jedi that we loved and.
Yeah, they couldn't. No, they couldn't kill Rey anytime soon. Speaking of Rey in the new franchise, then, do you think Kylo Ren can be redeemed? Tough question.
Well,
Or will they?
Ray's trying.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying, and he was showing glimpses of it.
He showed that when he didn't kill his mother.
Yeah, he didn't kill his mother.
Well, remember he was about to shoot fire in his TIE fighter. He didn't. He pulled up, but then the TIE fighters.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was going to shoot at the cockpit, and then he didn't. But then the TIE fighters beside him did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he still has that, which Rian Johnson was playing with. He's still conflicted. He's not.
Yeah, there's still conflict in him, and there shows those elements of he can be saved, but we need a full-on bad guy.
Yes, we do.
That's what the story needs. That's what the canon needs.
A big bad.
Big bad boy. And he sort of started turning into that at the end of the film because
That's true.
when he kills Snoke, he goes, and then like, you're like, oh, he's done it. You know, he's killed him and he's like overthrown this whole conflict thing and he's now teamed up with Rey and they're fighting the guards and everything's great. And then he turns around and he's like, join me. He goes full Vader on Luke.
Yeah.
Join me and we'll rule the galaxy together.
And she's not.
Yeah, and she's like, no, what? I thought you were,
Yeah.
I thought I saved you.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Same deal like Luke. And Luke gets his arm cut off.
Well, would you be happy with then him not being redeemed and just going full dark and becoming the new big bad?
I'd like him just to be full on evil.
Sith?
And his hitting power levels of a whole nother level that we haven't seen. Like full on the cross between Sith and like Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm conflicted in myself with this, how I want it to become. Do I want this series to wrap up episode 9 in a tight bow and have him turn around, which would be him being redeemed? Because if you don't redeem him,
you got to kill him.
You got to kill him. If you keep him alive, then you're just setting up for another trilogy, which I don't want it. I want this trilogy to finish. I want it to be 9.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
9's a good number.
9's a perfect
don't want to
number.
do a 10, do you?
No,
That's weird.
It's the Luke Skywalker. It's the Anakin.
Yeah. Can you imagine buying a box set with 10 DVDs?
Can you imagine buying a box set with 20? No.
9 sounds good.
Yeah, don't buy the James Bond one. There's always one every.
Another one next year, and then you got this random 50 box set, and then like 3 extra ones on the end of it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah. How about we head into some of the fan questions?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, we've got 2. We've got one from Steve.
Yeah, we'll do Steve's first.
Yeah, so Steve asked,
he asked
where the Jedi came from.
Yeah, I'll read out the full question.
Yeah. Because Steve's got good character, and the way he asked the question was quite delightful to me.
All right, Steve's question was, "Hello, Barflies. Long-time listener, first-time caller." Well, that's not true because we did ask him a question the other week.
Yeah, and he was also listening. He was also like on the podcast, sleeping.
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago. Yeah.
He goes, "I have a question for a knowledgeable Jedi and his young, inexperienced, but arrogant Padawan. I'll let you decide who is who in this scenario."
I'm the Padawan. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not. Maybe you know more about it. "My question is vague and nerdy. I would like to know where the Jedi come from. I saw some old-ass books in The Last Jedi. Are they related at all? Just give us a broad strokes answer. Your pal, Steve."
Well, the old ass books are the ancient Jedi texts.
Sacred texts.
The sacred texts, which Luke tries to save, and then Yoda makes lightning bolts hit them and then burns them. But
No, doesn't burn him, mate.
doesn't burn them because someone's done a sneaky and hit him
Right.
on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. You know what?
What?
First time I watched that movie,
Didn't notice that?
No, I did notice it. Second time, didn't notice it.
First time I didn't notice it. Second time, I did.
After first watching, I was like, didn't she? She took the books. Yeah,
like 2 weeks ago.
Second
when
time, I was like, wait, I thought she took the books. But then I was very confused.
Yeah. I didn't notice the first time. And then when I rewatched it, like I mentioned last podcast, I listened so from now, like 2 weeks ago, I rewatched it. And I noticed at that time, like, oh, naughty girl.
Yeah, naughty.
Yeah.
And that's why Yoda's thing as well. Like, don't worry. She knows she's got everything she needs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yoda knows everything. He's so good. Yoda's the best. Awesome. The Jedi, in the realm of the canon, of course, we got to state, we generally try with this podcast, so I stick within the canon, and we mentioned some legend stuff, but in the canon, we only know what we've sort of seen, and what we've seen starts at like episode 1, and there's a Jedi Council.
Wars, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, and like, what's the planet? You said where the crystals come from?
So from Rogue One, we know there's a planet called Jeddah, and that used to be a Jedi planet where they used to get the kyber crystals for their lightsabers, and it has that big like stone kind of engraving into the ground.
It looks like a Jedi holding a lightsaber. It's like their version of like Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so that's one planet.
Yeah. And then, and I feel like that might be somewhere where Jedi originated. Assuming. Yeah. Well, where they originated a bit prior to like a lot of the canon, because of there's also the Jedi, like the monks, like Chirrut.
Yeah, the wheels of the Force. Yeah.
Yeah. So like people who don't use the Force, but like praise it like a religion.
And same with Lawzan Tekka, the guy at the start of the Force Awakens. He gave the map to Poe Dameron at the very start.
Lawzan Tekka.
Yeah.
I did not know that name. It sounds like a Mad Dog disco song.
Yeah, it was a Mad Dog. He was like one of the, like sort of the same. Like he was following the religion. He wasn't a Force user himself, but he believed in the Force.
Yeah.
But that's that's much we know for canon wise.
Yeah. In the legends, it's supposedly the Jedi have been around for like 25,000 years or something.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll explore that more if we get a movie that's set in the Old Republic and we see the formation of the Jedi. Because what's interesting we don't know is like how the Jedi formed and how the Sith formed. Obviously, they're both Force users.
Yeah.
What made the Sith turn to evil?
Yeah.
And what made the Jedi?
Apparently, it's like George Lucas sets the two like around like the base around like a Friedrich Nietzsche like morality essay that he wrote once, like in the 1800s.
Okay.
Like Nietzsche is an old like I can't even think of the word now. But yeah, he wrote an essay on morality. There's like master morality and slave morality.
Right.
And slave morality is sort of like kindness and using your brain and stuff, and that's the Jedi, while master morality is all about pride and power and Jedi also in the slave morality thing there's like a thing with when you make a decision about the consequences. So master morality, you don't think about either good consequences or bad consequences, while in slave morality, like the Jedi side, it's more of a scale of like the intentions of that person, if they're bad or good.
Yeah. So like you said before, good or bad of the morality, like the Sith, they only deal in absolutes.
Absolutes, yeah.
Bang.
While the Jedi work on a scale.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah. Question number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2. And that came from Beck. It was an online question on Instagram.
Yep.
She wrote, let me bring it up. Sorry, guys.
I remember reading it. It's really good. I think it's a good question.
Yeah, it is. So Beck's question is, hi Flies, I'm loving the podcast and have a question. Why does Leia only use the Force for the first time in The Last Jedi? Interesting.
Very interesting.
Loaded question.
True, there. Like the in which episode is it when she sort of has a feeling like she hears Luke in the original trilogy?
Empire Strikes Back at the very end when they're on Bespin and Luke's hanging off the antenna.
Yeah.
With handless.
Handless, yeah.
One hand down. And he calls out, Leia. And then she's like, Luke, I think he's over there. So she does use the Force in a sense. So
the Force, Luke uses the Force as like a radio and like taps into her ability to hear it.
But she senses where he is.
Yeah, true.
She finds him. He doesn't go like Google Maps. So like, I'm just hanging off the...
Here's my longitude and latitude. Come pick us up.
So,
yeah.
I think, that's probably the first time we get to see, obviously, that she uses the Force in some way. It's not like she's strong in the Force.
Yeah.
We don't think she is strong in the Force as much as Luke is or Anakin or Rey. But she gets a bit of a sense of the Force use. She possibly could have used it beforehand when she's a kid in certain ways, like Chirrut uses it to let it guide him in decisions making.
Yeah.
But
she might use it in times where she didn't realize she was using it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But the major time where we see her really use it is
the Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, and she's floating in space.
Yep. I think as well there's a bit of a gap between those years. Luke would have had to teach her something about the Force.
You'd think so.
And I do think I don't know for sure. I can't remember if I read it in one of the books or heard about it coming from one of the books, but he does teach her some things, but she chooses not to really become a Jedi or practice the Force. She just wants to stay as a senator because she thinks she can do more good as a senator than she would as a Jedi. Yeah. I'm about halfway through the book Bloodline, which is very focused on Leia, and after the events of Return of the Jedi, and how the Resistance starts to form, and how we start to hear little inklings of the First Order coming about as well. Okay. So maybe that's maybe where I've heard it from, coming from here. Yeah. So
might get more more reading.
Yeah, some more things about what her things are. But she does sort of, just like Rey does in Force Awakens, where she just calls to the Force a little bit to help her in decision making. So I do think, Leia has that ability, and we have seen it, but not on the scale as... Yeah,
but when she does do that in The Last Jedi, it is a bit... I remember seeing it, and then in the cinema, I was like, no, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, nah, she's in space. And, like sometimes when you're watching a made-up show or whatever, and there's science fiction, and you just accept crazy things as real. When I saw that, I was like, nah, not possible. She's out in space. You'd die.
Well, she almost did. She
was floating there for a bit.
It was in slow-mo.
Okay. And then she just puts her hand out and she's like, no. Like floats along. And I was like, nah, I won't accept that.
At least we found a new Force ability.
True.
You know what I mean?
Force pull yourself back into an airlock.
And also like not freeze to death in the vacuum.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But I reckon we can wrap that one up for everyone.
Yeah, I reckon that was a good episode. I enjoyed that one.
So did I.
But good.
I love the
two good questions. Real good questions.
Ones that we have to think about. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone else listening is like, if they've got questions, they should definitely hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Yeah, or even email. We'll accept all your questions.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Yeah.
And don't forget to listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podomatic, TuneIn, and YouTube. And please follow us on all our socials. But thanks again from the Cantina Barflies. It's been episode 9. It's been a great one. May the Force be with you.
Do it.